So I'm blowing the dirt for the last 10-15 minutes, blowing dust and dirt and caked on, everything you can imagine on these two table saws. This is got a broken piece of cast iron right there. I can braze a piece of steel on there, fix that. And then the other three attachment points are really good. I'm trying to think, maybe there was something else on there, because it comes out like the other three don't do that. There's one in here too. I bet you there was something on there. There was something coming out the back right here. I have to look at some pictures. So it's a CS2213. These are all part numbers. Yeah, I saw the casting on the bottom here. It's got a CS number, CS2201. Yeah, these panels. There's little sheet metal panels on one side. There's one, and on the other side, it's missing the front. There's two sides have them. This has got the cutouts for the cranks. That's why you can't lose these, because the crank handle is hanging on. Won't let it fall off. So to angle it, trying to figure out. Oh yeah, okay, we got two. Yeah, we got two cranks here. All right. Trying to figure out between the Tico or the Teco and the Beaver. I think this Beaver is a better unit. So there's your. I think it's unthreaded off the raise and lower. So someone's come back and put these 4 screws in here, bolts. And they lost this panel. That's not hard. I can fabricate one of them. There's something here. There's a rod here. Okay. And then this is solid. This is brass. I had that threaded out. You can see brass in there. Or bronze. I think it's bronze. I think that whole thing is bronze. And then when I saw that, I thought, well, the other one must be bronze as well, but it's so dirty in there. But everything's this is like top quality material. Base is the cast iron base. The kind you want, with the bolts on the outside, not the inside. 1 out of 4 screws are on here. These are all missing. So you can see the only reason why this panel is not lost and the front one's not lost is this hand crank wheel won't let it fall off and be gone forever. So we can match. If I can take this wheel off, I can use this one as a template to make the one on the other side. I think it's the same size. And then we got this piece right here that threads through. I think that's cast iron. I don't think that's brass or bronze. But I can go get a wire brush and we'll check. And it's stiff. Definitely stiff. So I'm trying to think, maybe we can take these collars off and pull those. I'm not going to do it today, but take the collars off these threaded rods and pull these out and wire brush them on the wire wheel, and then lube them up, put some light oil, which I don't think you should do with a table saw, but just to get this thing working smooth again. It's pretty stiff right now. Yeah. So I don't know what's holding this one from coming out. There we go, it's out. Okay. There's the collar. The collar's loose on there, that's why. Oh, I see. This is the pointer. Okay, I was trying to figure out pointers on this little sleeve. And that's for your gauge, your bevel gauge. And the collar fell off. Right there. The set screw's missing, so I got set screws. And then we can wire brush this. It's not too bad though, it's very fine thread. So that is for raising and lowering the blade. And I believe this thing here locks it, but it didn't seem to do very much. That little pointer should be painted red or something, or white. Yeah, I think this is the better of the two. We'll go look at the Tico. I haven't cleaned this one up too much yet. I just kind of took the cast iron top off because it's very easy to get off. 3 bolts, 1, 2, 3. There's your adjustments. There are these ovalized holes. to true the blade with the tabletop. So your two slots for the bevel gauge. I always call it the bevel gauge. It's the miter gauge. They ride in that slot, and it's to get the blade straight with that slot's kind of important on a table saw. So I don't like the way this thing angles like that. You just touch this, it moves like 3 degrees. And your raise and lower for the blade is on the same knob. So this thing, the red one's actually moving when see, it kind of moves a bit. That should be a separate knob. And you can't lock the angle. You gotta lock both, or you can't just lock one or the other. You gotta lock both. Even locking them doesn't work that great. Although this is a beautiful little saw. It's in great shape. Soap and water. So let's clean up this chrome. The green paint's still on the knobs. I don't think it's been used very much. The red paint's still on this knob. I mean, it would be worn right off if it was used a lot. It's worn definitely a little bit, but not too bad. The nameplate's in great shape. And these numbers, I gotta take that off and clean that. I'm still going to take that. I need a 5/8 or something. It's bigger than that. I think it's 11/16 that nut. Pull this off and free that up, get that lubed up. I will do that before I leave today. This thing seems to spin really nice, but I think that's a Babbitt bearing in there. There's no place to oil it or grease it. It's thin sheet metal here, so, but I gotta get a motor that spins the proper way. This one's spinning the wrong direction. That's why the blade is on backwards. If you haven't noticed that, I covered that a little earlier, but it may not be part of this video. I don't know. It's supposed to spin the other way. This is the front of this. Usually your knobs for adjusting the blade are on the front, not the back. So it spins this way right now. Yeah, I had the belt on, I plugged it in, and I figured it ran that way because when I saw the underneath here, there's no handle. Actually, the handle, I turned it around, I guess. No, this is turned around. Okay, so the motor was at this end over here, and the handle's over here. And I thought, well, you know, maybe. That's not square. I think it's a little bent. That does not look square, that corner over there. Something's not square. Something's bent. So I think the better of the two is the Beaver, even though the paint's not near as nice as this one. I think it's just better built. It's hard to say. You guys be the judge. This is built very similar to a modern table saw. Got your, what they call a cradle for the blade cradle, and then you've got this thing seized right up. I think the bearings are seized up. So you got your two tilts, and these stay horizontal. So some table saws, they come up on an angle as the table rotates. This one doesn't do that. The pivot point is yeah, so that pin, I was wondering what that pin was for. That's to locate this thing here. The pin goes through this hole. So it allows this knob to spin. And then that keeps your pointer pointing at that pointer seems to be out of whack. I think it's backwards. I think it's supposed to be flipped the other way. It's probably supposed to be inside there. And right now it's out. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's supposed to be out here. Because the numbers are outside here. That plate's in nice shape there. Yep, and then you got your Made in Canada. I think Rockwell bought out Beaver at one point. I think. And I'm trying to figure out why. I thought there was only 4 points where this tabletop fastens, but there's 5. There's a spot right here, and this piece is broken. So something comes out back and behind here, and it broke off. So if I look up the serial number, I might find some pictures, and could tell me what used to be back here. Maybe it's important, maybe it's irrelevant, I don't know. I think the table saw will work fine, just the way it is. So I think it's the first time these saws have seen the light of day. They've been in a dark, dingy garage for as long as the son of the owner can remember. And the owner, the older gentleman's 90 years old. He just got placed in a home, and his son is getting rid of some of this stuff. Probably so he can park his car in the garage in the winter. It's very important, you know. I just leave my car outside and I leave my tools in the garage. I'd rather have tools in the garage than the car in the garage. Okay, so someone painted some stuff on here and got paint in different places, pink. I don't know what that, flash colored or whatever. Okay, so I'm getting tired now. I think it's time to call it a day. But that's interesting. That's brass. And that's threaded in there, so it can pivot, but it won't fall out. There's no retainer clip or anything, so yeah, I'm gonna go wire brush this. I think that whole thing is solid brass or bronze. Nice parts. And we'll squirt some oil on these pivot points here and up in there. Maybe we can get some oil down to the bearings. I doubt it. I'll take the blade off. Yeah, you can't get an impact gun in there, so that's right on thread. So I'll get a big wrench. That looks bigger than 3/4. I think that's like 15/16. And I can get it to rotate all the way around, but I'm telling you, man, I'm really forcing on that. So let's go wire brush this thing first. That's less than 2 minutes on the wire wheel. So that's solid bronze. It's pretty nice. I'll put that back in.